Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. Now today I get to share with you 3 projects using the new release from Spellbinders. These are the cut and emboss folders. They are wonderful and I had so much fun playing with these. And to celebrate this new release, Spellbinders is having a giveaway. There's a chance to win a $50 gift certificate to one lucky winner. Details are on my blog, so check that out. You don't want to miss it. And then also, I am going to be giving away a $25 gift certificate also. But these are the die cut, the cut and emboss folders here. This first one is the flower garden. This one here is the Botanical Frame. And they create quick and easy but stunning cards with lots of detail. This last one here is the Floret cluster. In each of the projects I made today, I made with each of the embossing folders. So easy peasy cards, let's just jump in. We're going to take these out of the package so you can see more of the detail. I'm going to start off, I did trim down 3 pieces of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to be doing some blending over the top of my embossed area, so Strathmore Bristol works beautifully for that. But you see those little white areas on the embossing folders? Those are actually dies that are embedded in the embossing folder. And so they're not going nowhere, but they cut beautifully. I'm just going to place my paper on the inside of each of these folders. Then I'm going to grab my Platinum 6 and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. Now all die cut machines are different, so you just follow your instructions per your die cut machine on how to use embossing folders because it works the same exact way. So we're just going to run these through, and it runs through beautifully and it embosses just gorgeous. And then we're going to do our third one. Now you get to see how pretty the detail is on these. For this one, well, I'm going to use my my tool-in-one here to poke out all the small areas, but you can see all the roses are die cut. So you could put anything behind there. You could put glitter, you could make it a shaker card, you could put glitter, pattern paper, distress paper, and it creates fast, easy, beautiful cards. This is the second one here. That one's the frame where it actually has beautiful detail all along the edges. And then there is flat surface in the center to where you can stamp your sentiment. And then this is the third one here. And there's a few more varieties of the cut and emboss folders out there too. And I'll leave links to everything that I used today down in the description area and over on my blog if you are interested. But I thought that was so fun. What a great way to celebrate a release by having a giveaway for $50. Basically all you have to do for the Spellbinders gift certificate is leave a comment starting with the Spellbinders blog on the blog hop, and you could enter into the chance to win the $50 gift certificate, which is fantastic. And again, rules will be over on my blog, so check that out. So let's start off with our first project. I'm taking some Wild Honey Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to be shading in the embossed area just to make those flowers on this panel pop. And then the open area where you would typically stamp your sentiment, I'm actually going to go really heavy with my Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to use that to die cut out my sentiment. For this card, I'm actually going to cause a little bit of dimension. So, well, the embossing adds dimension, but I want to add a little bit more. So I'm going to take my scissors and fussy cut around the embossed area, just around the flowers. And we'll eventually pop that up. But now I'm going to take a sentiment die from my stash. This is from Spellbinders also. It's the Phrase 1 set. And I'm just going to grab the Happy Birthday. And I'm going to die cut out the 2 Happy and the Birthday with that same Wild Honey Distress Oxide ink. Now for my background, I wanted to add a bit more color. So I grabbed a scripty stamp for my stash. Now this has been in my stash forever, so I don't know the name of it, but any scripty stamp that you have will work just the same. And I am going to stamp a few times on my, actually this is my card base. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, just to add a little bit of color back there. Now we're going to go ahead and add our vellum. I did put the sentiment on the vellum just using some glue. I'm going to attach it to this panel here just using my tape runner. I'll just flip the ends of the vellum right behind it and then add some foam squares behind there. We're going to place this directly on our card base, and basically guys, that's it. All we need is a little bit of bling, so I'm going in with a few sequins. These are iridescent sequins, and that finishes off card 1. Super simple and super easy, but it creates a beautiful card. Love the outcome of this. Now for card number 2, I'm going to grab some more Distress Oxide ink. This is Faded Jeans, and then the top one there is Peacock Feathers. I'm going to use my blending tool and going to go on the right and left side of my panel, and then in the center I'll go in with my Peacock Feathers, just so that center pops a little bit with a different color. And I am going to shade a little portion of this white cardstock here. I'm eventually going to trim that down. Now to give this, it has a lot of dimension, but I really wanted that embossing to pop, so I'm taking a baby wipe and I'm going in a vertical direction. I'm going to flip my panel over just a bit and go in the opposite direction. And this is going to take some ink away from the embossed areas and also going to add texture to that flattened area. And I love doing this, so baby wipes work perfect to add a real pretty texture. I'll take my paper trimmer and we're going to trim down this panel just a bit on the right hand side. And then I'm going to take that extra piece and I'm going to cut out a strip of that solid color. Okay, now we're going to make a side folding card, so we're going to attach that solid strip just using tape runner to the left side of my card base. And then I decided to add a little bit something, so this is actually some silver cardstock. I just cut out a thin strip and I'm going to attach that to my decorative panel here. I'll just trim off the excess, and then we're going to flip this over and pop it up with some foam tape. Now I added lots and lots of foam tape because I wanted to do some stamping on top of it. So we're just going to attach that directly to our card base, and then I'm going to take that same stamp, but this time using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I stamped that script, the sentiment. Well, it's not really a sentiment. I don't even know what it says. It's maybe illegible or in French, but I added it a few times on that background. Now this is a set from Spellbinders also, and this will cut out a real pretty frame, and then the sentiment's made to fit inside that frame. So I stamped my sentiment with some VersaFine ink, and then just using the ink that's left over on my blending tools, I'm going to go around the edges here. And I think that's going to look really pretty, almost vintagey. Okay, now to add a little bit of shimmer, this is actually a circle ring of rhinestones. I'm just going to stretch it so it fits an oval shape and place it right around my sentiment that says "Just for You." And then I popped it up and placed that on my panel. I'm going to fill in the centers of those die cut flowers with some clear gems, and that finishes off my second project. I really like the way this turned out. I thought it was so pretty. Now for my third project, we're going to use this cut and emboss folder here. So I'm actually going to trim out the top portion. It's the smooth portion. Trim it down a little bit more, and I'm not going to do any coloring on this. I'm going to do coloring behind it. So I grabbed another piece of cardstock and we're going to do some ink blending, really concentrated on this side here because I'm actually going to create a sentiment panel. So I just filling it in with my Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink, and then I'm going to create some flowers that are blue and white. So that's why I just splotched that with my Distress Oxide ink. And I'm going to do the same with some peeled paint on another piece of cardstock. Those will be for my leaves. Now I'm taking that same sentiment stamp. We're going to put it to good use in all three cards today. And I'm inking it up with my peeled paint and stamping it on the bottom. That's going to be my border sentiment area. And then I'm going to stamp it a few times where I'm going to die cut my flowers and leaves. Just gives a little bit of interest on that color. Now the flowers that I'm using are from the Spellbinders Cinch and Go Flowers 3 set. Love this. I'll leave a link at the end to a video on this where I made a project, but this is so pretty. So it'll cut me out 4 flowers in the leaves. And then for my sentiments, I'm going to be using the bordered sentiments dies. I decided to use the Congrats. Everything's die cut out. Now all we have to do is assemble our flower. I'm just going to use 3 of them today. And then using a turquoise brad, I'm just going to add 3 of them. And I think the detail, especially with the scripty sentiment stamp, really makes a difference on those flowers. Okay, we're going to attach our sentiment to our border, just using some glue, and eventually we're going to pop that up with some foam tape. I'm going to grab my Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink, and we're going to shade in directly on our card base, making sure we get the area right behind those die cut flowers. And then I'll add some foam tape behind my panel there and pop that up and place it on my card base. Like I said, these cards were so easy. Well, they look like you spent a lot of time, and that's what I like about them. I did add foam tape behind here and place that on my card base. Just trimmed off the excess, and just using some glue dots, I'll attach my flowers. I did fluff them up a bit. The Cinch and Go flowers are actually used to create some really pretty cinched flowers, but I just wanted a real big single flower, so I didn't do much cinching. But I attached my leaves and a few sequins, and that's project number 3. Now, I wanted to show you too, guys, that these cut and emboss folders work great for pattern papers and also work great on vellum. So I'm die cutting out 1 of each, and then I did make a project. I didn't do a tutorial on it, but it was very easy. So once we have those ran through, this is the vellum, and the embossed area turns white, and it is gorgeous. So I thought I'd make a perfect like wedding card. So this is the card I made. I just attached the vellum to my card base, added a gold strip and a bow, and congratulations! Very easy and some gold gems. Now this is pattern paper that I ran through. I'm going to show you how to make that embossing area pop. I'm going to go around the edges with my vintage photo, and you can see how it just makes it stand out. And the detail that it gives in real life is incredible because of the raised areas. But this is the card I made with that pattern paper. Very vintagey in look. I did add some pearls to this and then a white sheer ribbon. But it was so simple and easy to do, guys. I encourage you to check them out. Links will be below, and also I encourage you to check out the blog hop, guys. Super fun, and $50 gift certificate from Spellbinders, and then also a $25 gift certificate over at my blog. Check it out, guys. But have a fantastic day. I hope you like my projects. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.